Hello my lovely crafters, this is Crafty Sue 519. Welcome to my channel. And today is Tea Tuesday, an open collab hosted by Life with Patty and Kathy's Favorite Things. I haven't done this in a while, but yesterday I took out my new sewing machine and was trying to learn my way around it, and it triggered a memory I thought you'd like to hear the story about. So I will tell you about that, but first I got some very special happy mail yesterday. And it was from my daughter-in-law, Mabel, in Rhode Island. Remember I just made that baby blanket? She ordered it from me for her youngest brother. He and his girlfriend just had their first baby. And I got a package in the mail yesterday, and look! They sent me a picture. This is little Miss Chloe Marie, and she's laying on the blanket I made for her. Isn't that a wonderful picture? Oh, that's so awesome. So awesome. I am so sorry that through the years with I can't tell you how many baby blankets I've made, that I didn't take pictures of each blanket and put on the back of it who I made it for. But that's not all. She also sent me a card. Isn't that beautiful? I just love it. Well, guess who made it? Me. I laughed when I opened up the card. I said, I know this card. I made this card. Well, for Christmas, I made her a bunch of cards. She likes my handmade cards a lot and asked me to make her some cards. So I made her a box full as a Christmas gift. And she sent this back. She said she thought I would get a kick out of it. And I did. I did. And she wrote me the nicest little note. She said, Sue, thank you again so much for working so hard on baby Chloe's baby blanket. It came out absolutely perfect. You can really see and feel the love you put into making it. And I really do appreciate your heart. I hope you enjoy the picture of her in the blanket. Love always, Mabel. Is that too nice? Just too nice. And I won't open up this, but this is a check that is overly generous that she sent me for making the blanket. And I called her yesterday and said, why did you send me that money? You didn't have to do that. I would never charge you. I'll, pay for the materials and that's it. And oh gosh. But anyhow, I had to share that with you. Look at the hair on that child. She's like 2 weeks old. Look at the hair on her. She's so cute. She is so cute. Well, I'll leave her picture here. Well, let me see. I will put my beautiful sign that Manly made me and go on to my other little story. So as I said, I was trying to learn my way around my new sewing machine. I want to do some sewing. I used to sew all the time when I was younger. I made a lot of my clothes, my sister's clothes. I made the flower girl dresses for my wedding. I used to make all kinds of stuff. Doll clothes for the porcelain dolls I made. I sewed all of their clothes. So I bought a sewing machine, I don't know, a year ago, and I haven't used it. It's been sitting under a chair. So I said, I have to start trying to make stuff again, get myself back into sewing. So as I'm sitting at the sewing machine, this memory just pops into my head. Now, I honestly do not remember if I ever told you this story before, but if I did, I apologize. But for you newer subbies, you've never heard it before. So I'm going to say it again. My mom passed away in 1979 when I was 27 years old. It was a horrible year with her illness, and it was very difficult on me. Very, very difficult on me. And one day, maybe 2 months after she passed away on August 28th. August, September, maybe not even that long after. I was sitting at my sewing machine because I was making quilted Christmas wreaths that I was selling. And to make some extra money. And my oldest son, Jay, who was about 3, was sitting underneath the sewing machine. My sewing machine was one of those that was in its own cabinet, so you just had to open it up and the sewing machine was there. So he sat at my feet under the machine, and I was sewing, and, you know, as it happens when you lose someone very close to you, that sudden surge of sorrow hit me, and I started crying. And I was crying. And I hear this little voice from beneath the sewing machine say, "Mommy?" And I said, "What, baby?" And he said, "Are you sad?" And I said, "Yes." And he was quiet for a second, and then he said, "Mom?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Can I take you to the store and get you a candy to make you feel better?" Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It was the sweetest thing. So I said, "Jay, do you have money to buy Mommy a candy?" And he went, no, I don't." So I went in my wallet and I pulled out a quarter and I put it in his hand and I said, "Now you have your own money." And he was so excited. "Can we go to the store now, Mom?" And I said, "Yes, honey, we can go to the store." Well, my second son was not even a year old yet. So I gathered him up in my arms and held on to Jay's hand. And there was a tiny little store just up the street from where we lived. We hadn't moved out to the country yet. We were living in an apartment. And one of those tiny little independently owned stores, you know. And we walked up there and went in, and he was so proud. And he looked at the old gentleman who owned the store, and he says, "I'm buying my mommy a candy because she's sad." And he says, "Oh, well, that's a very nice thing to do." Well, he didn't let me pick out my candy. He picked out his favorite candy and bought it. And I think it was like a nickel. You know, things were so inexpensive back then. And he proudly gave the gentleman his quarter, and he gave him 2 dimes back. And Jay was so excited. I mean, he didn't know what to do. He held out his hand, and he's looking at me with the dimes. And I says, "Now you have more money when you can so you can come back to the store and get yourself some candy." Oh, he was so happy. I could have told him to buy himself one at that point, but I didn't want to ruin his moment. He was so proud of himself that he was taking me to get a candy. So the gentleman handed him his candy, and he turned around and he gave it to me, and he says, "Here, Mommy." He says, "This will make you feel better." And I said, "Thank you, honey." I says, "That's very, very nice." And we walked out of the store, and we were walking home, and he stopped and he looked up at me and he goes, "Mom?" And I said, "What, babe?" And he said, "Do you feel better now?" And I said, "Yes, honey, I feel much, much better." I will never forget that as long as I live. Makes me teary just thinking about it now. A little 3-year-old boy wanting to make his mom feel better. He had no clue about his grandmother dying, and I think he asked about her a few times, and very hard to explain to a 3-year-old. And of course, he has no memory of her, and I wish he did. I wish my kids had gotten to know her, but that didn't happen. So that's my little story for today. Sitting at a sewing machine just triggered that thought from sitting at a sewing machine with my child sitting at my feet and wanting to comfort his mom in a moment of sadness. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, love yous. Bye.